Now, CORDCO Principal Kalonzo Musyoka has launched a scathing attack on the Jubilee administration and accused it of applying double standards in the fight against corruption. Kalonzo wants President Uhuru Kenyatta to take a bold step and urge Cabinet Secretary for Devolution, Ann Waiguru, to step aside in order to facilitate investigations into the award of tenders and jobs in her devolution ministry. Kalonzo says there should be no sacred cows in the war on corruption.
In dealing with allegations of corruption in high offices, the Uhuru administration must stop playing hide and seek with Kenyans. It is a pity that statecraft and resources are being mobilized to insulate devolution CS Ann Waiguru from accountability on suspected shady dealings in our ministry, while at the same time unleashing dogs of war on peripheral courts, cabinet secretaries and other senior government actors on flimsy allegations of corruption. This double-speak, outright endorsement and blatant public display of affection for public servant by State House is embodiment of leadership failure. Let us make this point very clear. We will not drop the demand for Waiguru to either step down or be forced out of office to pave way for proper investigations into the award of tenders and jobs in our devolution docket. The court fraternity and Kenyans in their majority are resolute on this demand.
Moving away from politics now, scores of people have been injured today morning in a stampede that broke out at the Kenya Ports Authority in the ongoing recruitment drive at Bandari College in Mombasa. Trouble began when police officers tried to scatter a surging crowd that was forcing its way into the college's premises. Now, several people suffered minor injuries and were rushed to hospital for treatment as others received first aid at the scene. Police at the same point were forced to lob tear gas canisters to disperse the crowd as confusion marred the process. But the KPA management has downplayed the events, insisting that the process is going on as planned. We're now joined by our reporter, Francis Otoma, from the Kenya Ports Authority in Mombasa. Now, Otoma, what's the situation on the ground and has normalcy returned?
A very good afternoon, Najma. Yes, here at the Mombasa, here at the Bandari College, it has been a chaotic morning, events that have spilled over to mid-morning. There was a lot of confusion when the applicants for the newly announced jobs came to apply the jobs at the Bandari College. And during at the time that they were supposed now to enter the premises of the Bandari College, the gates had been closed, and therefore police officers had come there to control the crowd. But thousands and thousands who had turned out for this event surged into the compound, making it very difficult for police to control them at the gate. And scores were injured, as you've indicated, Najma, and some of them were, first aid was conducted on them at the scene, while some were rushed to hospital. It has been quite a chaotic morning, a lot of confusion. The numbers came, therefore, but the management of the KPA is saying that nothing has that happened, and of course you will expect that to come from them. And again, it is a situation that has left many speechless, and actually even asking questions on the manner in which the whole exercise is being conducted, Najma.
Yes, Antoma, what do you think is the fate of the employees who have gone on a go slow? What are they saying?
The KPA management, the managing director, Gishure Ndua, has indicated that so far 27 members of staff have been dismissed from job. Therefore, this means that it's only 27 that he was able to confirm to us who have been sent home. And therefore, all the others who had been participating in the strike, their fate is still hanging in the balance. It's not clear because they had indicated earlier that they had given them until Friday to report to work. Some of them reported, and actually it says that almost all of them reported. But then it's not clear now that their jobs are being advertised. It's a mixture. It is a mixing situation that is bringing a lot of confusion. It's not clear whether these people who are being recruited today are going to fill those positions. And therefore, it's all... so far, we can only confirm that it is 27, according to the management, who have been sent home, Najma.
Well, thank you very much, Francis Ontoma. Let's revisit that story again, where trouble began when police officers tried to scatter a surging crowd in Mombasa that was forcing its way into the Bandari College premises. Now, several people suffered minor injuries and were rushed to hospital for treatment, and others received first aid at the scene. Police at some point were forced to lob tear gas canisters to disperse the crowd as confusion marred the process. But the KPA management has downplayed the events, insisting that the process is going on as planned.
Hello.
Police came when we were queued in a line, and they started throwing tear gas. When they started throwing tear gas, then people started running. When we started running, some of us, like me, I fell down. When I fell down, people came on top of me, and then there was a shooting on her that made the matters worse.
Siwezi nikafikiria vizuri, lakini watu walisukumana tu tukaangukiana. That's all I can remember.
We were in the queue, all of us, well organized. Then after some time, one of the policemen came and he was like, you have to like squeeze to go near the wall. And then so now the people who are behind, they came and crowded the others who were in the queue. So they start pushing, and that's why other people fell down.
Now on to the story of combating illicit liquor. The operation in Meru entered its third day, with police, area member of parliament and provincial administration led by Imenti North Sub-County Commissioner Jim Joka netting over 5,000 cartons of different types of illicit brew. Police had a hard time after residents accused them of being discriminatory in their soups, targeting only small traders, yet the big fish operators were allowed to thrive. Now the crowd blamed that area OCPD for being reluctant to raid a particular distributor's shop, alleging that the OCPD was bribed to safeguard the owner of the shop, a thing which led both the sub-county commissioner and the member of parliament Rahim Dawood break into the shop that had been closed. The MP and the residents demanded sacking of the OCPD, saying that he was hindering the operation process as he was protecting the major distributors of the illicit brew. Now, Kenya Red Cross coordinator Gitonga Mugambi said that as Kenya Red Cross Society, they were ready to take addicted youths through the process of rehabilitation, adding that it was very unfortunate.
Madam CEO, I'm just kindly requesting you. We have a store upstairs.
Tupigane na hii vita ili vijana wetu wasikufe, wawe vijana wenye nguvu. Tunawauliza msikunywe hii pombe, sababu hii ndio inaleta madhara katika afya zenu.
Saa mbili uchumi kifungua, wengine wameanguka hapa nje kwa baranda. Wanatolewa maanguko hapo. Sasa nimehangaika wakati hiyo yote na kuna pahali sijaenda. Sasa asante sana kwa uhuru President wetu kusema vile alisema, kwa sababu hii mambo haingetukia.
Let's now cross over to Embu for the sights and sounds on the war on illicit brew, where residents, security agencies and the political leaders destroyed over 100,000 litres of illicit brews in Runyanja's. Area Member of Parliament Cecily Marire led the residents in invading the most notorious brewer at the Enna Trading Centre, where over 60,000 litres were found stashed in the multi-million industry. It took the Member of Parliament, the residents and security agencies 3 hours to break into the industry, since the brewer has constructed double-walled brewing rooms and stores so as to keep away the chiefs and other agencies from getting in. Now, the leaders also raided Embu Town, Manyata, Kibugu, Siakago and Kiririti towns, with leaders planning to carry on with the raids on other towns and villages. Marire said that the raiding of the notorious brewer Njeru Kadhambo was the biggest success in the fight against the illicit brews in the region, saying that they were shocked by the quantity.
It has taken us about 3 hours to break into the house, into the bunker which he has built. Inside that bunker, there was about 20,000 litres of water I'm holding. And there's a small hole through the wall where he sells to young people this small sachet for 10 shillings per sachet.
The operation to the crackdown on illicit brews intensified now in Nyeri. Nyeri Town Legislator Esther Murugi says that she will initiate the formation of the community's barazas that will be headed by community elders, church elders and other leaders. Murugi expressed concern that the Nyumba Kumi initiative appears dysfunctional and is not aiding in eliminating some of the social ills bedeviling the community. Several containers of illicit brew nabbed in various areas such as Kangemi Estate, Rirengo, among other estates within Nyeri Town were destroyed. Now, a handful of people were arrested in the swoop. Other MPs in Nyeri supervised the operation. Kianis Kanini Kega led the raid in Nairutia.
The reason really is if we don't do this, we are going to lose a whole generation if we have not lost them already. But it's not too late. After that is finished, then we are going to form committees of elders and both just village elders and the church elders, the community at large. Because we've also realized that Nyumba Kumi may not be very, very effective.
Still on the war on illicit liquor, the Kenya Bureau of Standards says it has launched an interagency team in conjunction with brewers to carry out inspection of premises and sampling of all manufactured spirits. This follows an outcry by distributors and breweries of a vandalization and destruction of legitimate brewery products in the ongoing war on illicit brews. The standardization body says at least 367 spirits brands have been suspended. KEBS has released a letter to all certified firms suspending their permits and has directed the immediate halt of production as they await inspection and clearance by the inter-government agency team. The timeline for review of suspension will be determined by the inter-government agency team. Away from illicit liquor now, the construction of multi-million hostel that was halted after the deadly terrorist attack at Garissa University College 3 months ago has begun in earnest. Now, the hostel, which will host over 900 students, was expected to be completed by October this year, but now will take a little longer after the delay due to the attack. According to the project manager, Mango Ogila, the resumption was necessitated by the efforts by the government has put in place to improve security within and outside the campus. Now, the project manager says the university administration was in touch with the ministry and the treasury to ensure funds were released on time so that the project is completed as early as possible in anticipation that the campus will be reopened by the Education Cabinet Secretary. Ogila noted that a lot of non-locals who were initially working on the site have expressed interest in returning to continue with the work after being satisfied with the security arrangements put in place by the government.
And in terms of security, I can say again and repeat again that I'm impressed with what the government has already done, especially at the university, within and outside. When I was coming, I was a bit half-hearted, but at the moment I can say my heart is settled.
West Pokot leaders have called on President Uhuru Kenyatta for the suspension of Education Cabinet's Secretary Jacob Kaimenyi. Leaders led by Governor Simon Kachapin and Senator John Lonyangapuo said Kaimenyi has failed to address challenges facing the teaching fraternity while condemning him for protesting over the industrial court ruling on teachers' pay increase. The two who were speaking at Nasoko Girls during the county education said that the Cabinet Secretary had failed in executing his mandate and should not continue to serve in that ministry. Lonyangapuo, however, said that the government should devolve funds for schools infrastructure, but accused MPs of doing less to improve the education facilities in their respective area. Starehe Boys principal, who was a guest speaker, called on the Pokot community to embrace education so as to change the narrative of cattle rustlers that has demonized the community.
Oh, Na mimi nilihangaika mwaka 20, hata Mungu akasema huyu amekuwa tamkali miaka hiyo, wacha akuje kuweka hapa na kidogo. Mwaka 10. Sababu amehangaika. Sasa mimi natetea walimu wenzangu. Kaimenyi patia walimu pesa yao. Kama kotini imesema. Hakuna mahali pengine waje wachune pesa katika hii maidara mengine ambayo hatuoni kazi ambayo inafanya mzuri.
It's only education that will save you from the quagmire you're in. My daughter, my son, please embrace this education like you have never done before. This is the only way you can do it.
The national government through Kenya Forest Service says Embabut Forest rehabilitation in Elgeyo Marakwet is on course after over 300,000 tree seedlings were planted in the past 2 months. Speaking during a press briefing at tree planting exercise at Tambach in Elgeyo Marakwet, North Rift Regional Conservation Solomon Mebei said that they have planted the trees on areas formerly inhabited by squatters who had greatly depleted the forest. Mebei says that the forest was being depleted at an alarming rate because of massive human activities in the forest, but that despite the degradation, the water catchment is on a steady recovery path. He noted that since the squatters moved out of the forest 2 years ago, they have been instrumental in rehabilitating the protected area because they have been supplying the trees seedlings.
I know very well that people who are illegal squatting in the forest were removed by compensating the people, by the government. Already in the next 2 years, or in the last 1 to 2 years, we have seen a lot of recovery, either naturally. Right now, even wild animals have come back, and it's even dangerous even for livestock to remain in the forest, which is a good indication that there is good recovery. Also, we have a big program, large program to do planting, where there was a high degradation. Already, this month they supplied over 200,000 seedlings by farms which were conducted, and the communities are the ones planting. We have done so far planted 200,000 hectares seedlings, and we believe that we want to phase out in the next 3 years. We shall have finished.
Leaders from coastal region have been warned against politicizing water development projects in the region. The chairman Coast Water Service Board, Granton Samboja, said that leaders for many years have been using water problems in Taita Taveta and other coast counties as a political tool for the campaigns. Samboja accused leaders for cheating the public that they will solve their water problems, but have never shown any interest of providing the basic commodity. Most areas in Taita Taveta County face water scarcity, and humans are forced to share water pans with livestock and wildlife, according to the residents. Now, the region leaders have not offered any tangible solution despite the Mzima Spring passing through their lands to lower coast. The Coast Water and Service Board has been going around coast counties in a campaign to provide clean water to the residents. Among its plan is to extend the Mzima 2 pipe to Voi, which is about 10-kilometer stretch, constructing of water pans and drilling power boreholes to provide water for domestic and irrigation.
Mto mmoja tu ambao unatumia wakazi wote hauwezi kutosheleza maji tafadhali. Na tungeomba ikiwezekana mtushike mkono, vile tumelia siku nyingi. Haya maji jamani yatakuja lini? Ya kutoka huko Mzima yatufikie hapa ili tukaweze kuona angalau afadhali.
Na hata kwa Biblia kuna mahali ambayo inasema maji ni uhai. Na kwa vile maji ni uhai, ni jukumu letu sote kuacha siasa za pesa nane, kuacha mambo yenye hana msingi, tutafute maarifa na mbinu ya watu wetu kupata maji.
The county government of Kisii has launched 5 new ambulances to improve service delivery in the health sector. Governor James Ongwae presided over the flagging off of the 5 state-of-the-art ambulances during a ceremony at the Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital. The county executive in charge of health services, Sarah Omache, and the county assembly's health committee chairman, Wilfred Monyenye, witnessed the ceremony. Omache said that the nurses and the operators of the ambulance medical equipment are skilled medical staff who have undergone training on ambulatory services. She said that lack of a well-established ambulatory system had for a long time left rescues in the hands of unskilled people who use wrong methods in handling accident victims, causing more harm or even death. 1.5 years ago, the county government launched an emergency ambulatory service in collaboration agreement with the Kenya Red Cross, where each of the 9 sub-counties has a state-of-the-art ambulance.
For those
Presently,
who talk about health services and the county governance system and say that this should be reverted to national government, let this be a vindication of the fact that health services within the context of the county governance system works. Because if for 50 years the national government would only maintain a mortuary of 20 bodies, and within 2 years we are putting in place a 100-body mortuary, then I don't know what you can talk about. If within 50 years, the national government, since independence, was not able to put a dialysis machine in Kisii Hospital, and in 2 years, we have close to 5 dialysis machines and more are coming, then I don't know what improvements in governance is all about. If within more than 50 years of our independence, the national government was not able to put in place a computerized tomography scanner, CT scans in an hospital like this one, and within 2 years we put one, then I don't know what improvement in health services is all about.
Fully trained paramedics and operators. They are going to work alongside the Red Cross leased ambulances for some time as we wait to buy 5 more. And we want to say, since we brought the ambulatory services in the Kisii County since 2013 October, we have had our people being helped so much, especially the mothers in labor.
On matters beyond our borders, MasterCard has begun issuing credit cards in Somalia in a bid to tap the $1.6 billion annual remittances business, which was disrupted by anti-terrorism restrictions. After decades of conflict, Somalia has no formal banking sector. Money transfer companies that enable the quick and easy movement of cash in and out of the country keep many families and businesses afloat. Here's more on that story.
Suleiman Mohammed, like so many others, has struggled to find regular work in Somalia. For years, he has survived on remittances from family in Nairobi, Minnesota, transferred through money transfer agencies known as hawalas, without which he couldn't have paid his rent or kept his 4 children in school. But in recent months, both American and Kenyan governments have moved to cut off transfers to Somalia, amid a crackdown on money laundering and fears that international funds may be going to Shabab militants.
In the past few months, we've had a lot of problems with the closure of remittance firms. Nairobi closed them, and also the hawala companies were closed by the US or England. It's become more and more difficult for us because we couldn't receive any cash from our relatives abroad.
Families like Suleiman's have been hit hard, but for the first time, a solution may be in sight. MasterCard is linking up with Somalia's premier bank to distribute debit cards for the first time and fill the billion-dollar gap left by the closure of other financial services. Premier has bought 5 ATM machines and plans to have 15,000 cards issued by the end of 2015.
We brought MasterCard here to be one of our services and help Somalis who have had difficulties receiving remittances. Now they can open an account, save and withdraw cash even outside of the country. You won't need cash to be transferred just through hawalas anymore.
It's a first step in lifting the effective financial blockade of Somalia, which has been increasingly cut off from the rest of the world. Somali economist Abdi Aziz Ibrahim says that the move is a sign of MasterCard's willingness to undertake risks in Africa.
Somalia is one of the most dangerous places to invest, but a company like MasterCard is willing to take that risk and to come to Somalia because the country is recovering from 2 decades of war and its economy is recuperating and things are expected to change in the near future.
The balance of risk and reward is yet to be seen. Security remains a huge issue here. But it's a step in the right direction for Somalia, striving for financial as well as political stability.
To sports now, we go straight to Machakos and join Moses Wakisi, and he will be giving us an update of what is happening at the Masaku Sevens. Good afternoon, Wakisi.
Yeah, Najma, it's all system go at this fourth leg of the fourth edition rather of the Masaku Sevens at the Kenyatta Stadium here in Machakos County. And the Kenyan teams that are taking charge in this tournament are proving to be a force to reckon, whereby there is a Samurai Warriors, a Kenyan outfit, Samurai Wakulima, a Kenyan outfit that is there, and the people are saying this is a side that is going to take this title. Looking at the lineup of that team, it has a lot of players who are mostly featuring in the national Kenya Sevens team. And now joining me from these sidelines is Benjamin Ayimba, who is also the tournament director. Ayimba, I don't know, probably, what are we expecting from today's extravaganza?
Extremely very good rugby, and you can see for the caliber of teams, teams like Abras have actually imported 4 Fijians, which makes it a very, very strong outfit. A team like Homeboys, for example, has the younger lot of the national team. So there are very, very strong sides coming on board. And then we also have the other teams like Harlequins and Impala have also come out. So we expect some really good rugby. And that's notwithstanding, we still have the second tier that played until the quarters last night. Actually this morning at 2:30. They play later on in the evening for their finals. I know a lot of people are saying that the tournament is not going to be having a lot of competitive nature. It's seeing like the defending champions, that is Sabidamu, are not in this current edition. Even the last year's finalists, that is Uganda under 19, are not taking charge. Unlike last year, there's much more stronger teams across the board this time. Last year we had 2 very strong sides. This year we have about 5 very strong sides. So we are bound to see a lot of good rugby going towards the end of the tournament. I know, aside from that rugby pitch, I know a lot of action is also taking place in the sidelines. Yes. The fans are having their own side sort of fun. Yeah. How is that aiding in the development of this? That's really good because, like we said, this is a festival as opposed to just rugby. People are coming out to Machakos. There's a lot going on in Machakos, a lot of development going on, and it serves as a chance to come and see what's going on. I was actually surprised that some guys came in last evening and wanted to see how the hospital was doing, even before coming to the field. So all this development and all the good things happening in Machakos, everybody wants to be part of it, and it's a good thing for Masaku Sevens. This is the fourth leg, and we have the first one, the second, also the third one. No, what is different in this edition? The fourth one, definitely, there's more teams now playing, and there's a lot of competition we're seeing. There's a lot more interest because the one that's gone out there, sometimes not very good, sometimes good enough. But what has gone out there, and it's what we've seen happening is the interest has really grown, and we are quite excited that that sort of interest is being positively changed to make the numbers come to the stand. So there's a lot going to happen tonight. We stop playing the games at 9 o'clock, and then there's parties all over Machakos. I know, party all over Machakos, that is on the sidelines, apart from what we are going to be having on the pitch. I know the Kenyan side is Samurai Wakulima, got a very impressive win. Also on a winning spree is also Top Fry Nakuru also won their tie among other matches that took place today. But still there will be more action and more action. At around 3:15 there will be a chopper idea, someone who won the competition of the photo that got most likes from the last edition is going to be brought here by Chopper, and just that apart from also the other fan hype that is going in this stadium, we're going to keep our viewers up to date. It's back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much. Moses Wakisi there will be keeping us up to speed with the extravaganza. Now, moving on to senior drivers, Alistair Kavanagh and Ian Duncan have bowed out of the Eldoret rally due to mechanical problems. Now, the duo kissed the fifth leg of the National Series goodbye in the first competitive section around the Flossbar in Kerio Valley. Kavanagh's portion lost its power after the gearbox gave in to the rough section on the Flossbar Hills. Now, Duncan's Mitsubishi Evolution 10 suffered mechanical hitches and had to assume the role of being a spectator. 52 cars started the rally early this morning and are currently challenging the hills and valleys of the picturesque Kerio Valley. More reports indicate that the rally was temporarily stopped at the spectator stage after the Mitsubishi car belonging to Pietro Gonobio and Silvia Frigo dropped into the river. Well, that's it on the weekend at 1. My name is Najma Ismail. Have a fantastic afternoon.